The U.S. veteran returns to Vietnam, a saying that makes the enemy shed tears. Roger Howler is a former U.S. veteran who participated in the Vietnam War. He joined the U.S. Marine Corps at the age of 17. After training at the end of 1965, Roger was transferred to Vietnam. Remembering those terrible years, he said, "During my first trip to Vietnam, our group participated in a mission to find and destroy. We entered a military base, and during the 5-day battle, we fought in pairs. More than half of our group were injured. 5 of our helicopters were shot down in 3 days. The injured soldiers died because they could not evacuate. We had to eat the food of the dead and fight the attacks day after day." Although he believed that he had been well trained, Roger still had to say that Vietnam was a different kind of war, especially when he was only 18 years old. The first time he saw a middle-aged soldier shot in the head by a 51mm machine gun. An emotion of fear, anger, melancholy, sadness. But he still had to hold on and continue to fight. "I have never seen anyone die, but what I saw in that 45-minute short gunshot has haunted me for years," Roger said. During most of his time in the military, Roger always volunteered to carry out the most dangerous missions and return safely. After that, the Vietnamese army gave $500 to anyone who killed him. And luckily for Roger, his 3rd mission in Vietnam was over. When he was in the hospital, he heard the doctor tell his twin brother that he was going to die, and they couldn't do anything else. Hearing those words when there were only 3 months left until his 23rd birthday, Roger prayed to God. "Dear God, if there really is a God, if you let me live, I will do whatever you want." In fact, Roger recovered miraculously. But then, he was shocked by the serious complications. Like many other veterans, he was haunted by the horrors of war. He tried to forget that wound, but the memories of Vietnam kept coming back every night when he fell asleep. Roger said, "Vietnam is the only place in the world that I never want to go back to." To get rid of those nightmares, Roger turned to alcohol for nearly 5 years. Also because of that, his marriage was pushed to the brink of bankruptcy. The criminal investigation was also disrupted. In a moment of loneliness, once again, he looked for God. Finally, after 4.5 years of being haunted by war, Roger also found peace and healing thanks to his faith. The broken marriage was also put on hold. Come back to Vietnam by chance to meet the enemy. Since 1989, Roger and his wife have participated in the humanitarian organization and a Vets Quitter mission. The organization has brought nearly 1,400 U.S. veterans back to Vietnam to reunite and reconcile. They also built hospitals and sent medical teams to the countryside in South Vietnam. On a trip back to Vietnam, Roger happened to meet and sit across from his old enemy. He said, "At the time, we were working at a destroyed orphanage and planning our next project. I met with a group of Vietnamese officials, including a North Vietnamese veteran. He was in charge of all social services in Saigon. As we started talking, I discovered that he was in charge of the unit that had almost wiped out my unit in the 5-day battle near the military base. So there was silence on the other side of the table. We had an interpreter, a young woman named Hin. Hin was a wonderful girl. She was fluent in 5 languages, including English, French, and German. We were talking to this colonel through Hin. Then he asked, 'Why did you do this? Especially, why did you come back to our country when we were enemies?' I looked at the colonel and said, 'Sir, I want you to know that through my faith in Jesus Christ, all the pain I went through in Vietnam, you have taken it all away. I can tell you that I love you and God loves you.' Suddenly, Hin sat down at the end of the table and began to cry. Then there was silence. All the Vietnamese officials looked down at the table, and they wondered what the name of this country had said to our beloved sister to make her cry. All was silent for a few minutes. Then when Hin turned to the colonel and told him what I had said, he turned from looking at Hin to looking at me with tears in his eyes. Then he stood up and walked around. I stood up and faced him. He looked at me, then hugged me and started crying. After crying, he told Hin and me that no enemy had ever told me that they loved me. War always comes with death, sadness, hatred. But in the end, love helped Roger heal his wounds and bring liberation to the country that had been devastated by war.